This video is based on official public information and is intended for educational and informational purposes only. All right, now I want to discuss two major points that Tiffany made in her video tonight entitled CT Scan and Constant Cycle, Cancer and Vlogmas Day 5. So today we're the 6th of December. So this is where this information will be coming from in terms of what she said. So one thing that she said in this video, I'll start with the more simple point, is that they do it one in the Royal Marsden in Sutton, and I do one in the Royal Marsden in Chelsea, and I was, I guess, umming and ahhing about which one to go for, but it just turned out that I just wasn't okay. I just don't have the energy, and I can't imagine going into London, the traffic, and I already do it enough with going to the hospital appointments. I think this year I'm going to have to miss it, which is okay. So what is she talking about? What is the it she's talking about? She's talking about the Celebrate a Life dates that occur annually at the Royal Marsden, one in Sutton, one in Chelsea. It occurred in Sutton on Tuesday, the 2nd of December this year, and on Thursday, the 4th of December at the Chelsea location. Okay, you can look this up on the internet. So in the beginning, she talks about, in the past tense, I just wasn't okay, as if, you know, this has already occurred when she made the video. Then she switches to the present tense. I just don't have the energy, and I can't imagine going into London. If it had already occurred, she would have said, I just didn't have the energy, and I couldn't imagine having gone into London. And then what's unequivocal is the last sentence. I think this year I'm going to have to miss it. So obviously this is I am going to have to miss it. This is the present continuous tense. So it's not the past tense. So this hasn't happened yet. In other words, the 2nd of December and the 4th of December haven't occurred yet in this video that she's putting out tonight on the 6th of December, Vlogmas Day 5. Which means that she did begin Vlogmas earlier than December the 1st, and most likely in November. So, TS is correct in saying that Vlogmas was filmed once again before December, and which is fine. There's no problem with that. But again, why can't she just say it? Why can't she just say, look guys, I'm very tired. You know, I love Christmas. I don't know how I'll feel later on. I'm just starting Vlogmas early this year, but you're all going to see them starting on December the 1st, even though I filmed them before. There's nothing wrong with saying that, but she doesn't want to. You know, again, it's image. Image is everything, I assume, but this is actually showing a bad image because, you know, we can see through this. So let's go to the more important point now. The more important point is actually what she said from 10:44 to 10:47 in this video. I'm not sure when the results are. So I'm just not going to think about it. I'm going to focus on the first sentence. I'm not sure when the results are. What am I going to show you now to show you that she most likely already has the results? This is what I'm going to show you now. Okay, let me scroll to the beginning of this report by the NHS, the National Health Service in England. Diagnostic Imaging Dataset, Statistical release, 22nd of May 2025. This has a lot of very interesting information in it. Okay, current data, frequently used acronyms. Okay, so we're not going to go, theme by theme. I want to just first of all appreciate the volume that the NHS has to handle in terms of scanning. We're talking X-ray, ultrasound, CT scan, MRI, fluoroscopy. 23 million X-rays from January 2024 to January 2025. 11 million ultrasounds and over 8 million CT scans. Imagine that. And 4.7 million MRIs. And this is a lot of volume. Okay. Now, this report has a lot of information, but I'm trying to just show you the pertinent ones, the pertinent information. So I'm going to spend some time, most of the time, on this. I want to explain to you what it means, the median number of days between date of test and date of test report issued. Date of test and date of test report issued, meaning Test report is one, the results, right? The test report, reporting of results for imaging activity by modality. So modality is here: X-ray, ultrasound, CT scan, MRI, fluoroscopy, nuclear medicine, PET CT scans. They divide it month by month by month. Okay, again, from 2024 to 2025, January to January. Now, I would have preferred an average. Okay, if a student gave this to me, I wouldn't accept it. I would want an average, not a median. Because what is a median? A median is you order all of the results in some sort of order. Now, whether it's chronological or not, we don't know. Is it chronological in January? From, say, January the 1st to January the 31st? Or is it by the amount of time it takes in terms of hours or whatnot? So we don't know. Now, after they order them in some way that, okay, it's not clear what order they're using. I mean, I'm assuming it's chronological because the y-axis here is chronological. So they would take the middle value. In other words, let's just say we have a sampling of 11, a data set with 11 points in it, and we're going to order them in a certain order. They would take the middle one. So they would take value number 6. Okay, I don't like that. Okay, that gives an incomplete picture, and you're going to see why the picture is incomplete. What's better, if you're going to report a median, you should also be reporting an average in parentheses or vice versa. But the average is missing. So what do we have here? Okay, I think they're really trying to think that we're silly and the audience doesn't have any intelligence, so they just want clean numbers. They don't want fractional numbers. But let's go through an X-ray. So the median number is 1. Okay, it takes 1 day to get the report from the date of test. Ultrasound 0, meaning you get it the same day. CT scan 0, meaning you get it the same day. Well, we know it's not the same day, right? The median value is 0 for CT scans. It is not the same day. But yet they put 0 on it. I don't like 0. Okay, if you're getting a statistical value of 0 for this in terms of days, then what you need to do is you need to divide up your increment. In other words, use hours instead, for instance. If you had used hours, if they had used hours on this instead of days, then you wouldn't have 0 here. Okay, you would have point something. But again, I think that they're either ignorant about this or they think that the audience is, not smart enough to read numbers. I don't understand. This is not a very good chart. I don't like median. It should have been average. And also, if you have a 0 in there for days, you should be doing it on hours, okay? If you want to be more accurate. Why? Because here's the next chart. The next chart is percentage of records where date of test report issued equals the date of the test by modality. Okay, so this means, look at X-rays, that roughly in about 35-36% of the cases of the tests, the report is on the same day as the test, so roughly more than 1/3. Yet if you look up here, it's 1. It takes 1 day, right, for the median value. The median value is 1. But the median doesn't take into account all of the other, it's just one value, median. In other words, you're just looking at the value of 1 point rather than taking an average. This is why, these things are not, they should be better to have been average. It would have been better to have been average and better to not have a 1 here, but have some fractional number, okay, point something, or just do it in hours. Might have been better. So, now let's get to the ultrasound. That makes sense. If it takes, 0 days, date of the test and date of report is 0, so it obviously takes less than 1 day. So almost 100% of all ultrasounds are reported in less than 1 day. Okay, it'd be nice to know how many hours, but in less than 1 day. Okay, so now let's go get to what concerns Tiffany, is the CT scan. She said she's getting she got a CT scan. So from January 2024 to January 2025, I would say roughly, if you did about 60% of the scans, the report is done on the same day as the scan, roughly 60%. So that would leave the other 40% would be maybe after the first day, after the first 24 hours. Again, the 0 here does not tell me much information. It just tells me that on the middle value in January, that particular scan was issued, the report was issued on the same day as the scan, etc., etc., etc. Now, notwithstanding, these are excellent results. I mean, just looking at this, even though I don't agree with what was reported, it should have been averaged, these look like excellent results, okay? But I don't know the reason they're not reporting the average. So based on what the NHS reports, in all likelihood, Tiffany has had her results in 24 hours. Okay, 24 hours. Look, because, again, for 1 year, it takes less than 1 day. I mean, they reported the same day, okay, according to the median value. Again, I don't like medium, I would have preferred average, so take this with a grain of salt, but the results are still good, okay? So 60% of the scans are reported on the same day of the scan itself. So I guess we're going to assume, it's easy to assume from the previous chart that the rest of the 40% are reported within 24 hours, so on the next day. Okay. Now, there's another thing that they're not very clear about, or I'm assuming that it is 24 continuous hours and not 24 working hours. Okay, that's the other thing. I'm assuming it's 24 continuous hours, because if it's 24 working hours, it would be 3 days. Okay, so in any case, even if it is 3 days, okay, well, less than 3 days, 24 hours, yeah, it would be 3 days if it's an 8-hour workday, depending on the workday, hours in the workday. So in all likelihood, Tiffany has her results by now. In all likelihood. The comment I'm going to make, the commentary I'm going to make on that type of behavior is, it's fine that she, not to tell us the results quickly. She could just say, I'm going to take some time to report it to you, I need to talk to my family, etc., etc. Fine. But what is not good to do is to, is to make it seem that the Royal Marsden is not giving results in a timely fashion, that they're taking 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks to give the results. According to their statistics, it doesn't take that long. At most, it would take 3 days, and that's if the 24 hours had been based on working days versus continuous hours. But I believe it's continuous hours, so the CT scan results, most of them should be within 1 day, if not the same day itself. Now, having said that, there are nurses who have commented, who have said that if someone is on a clinical trial, the results are even faster. Okay, results of clinical trial data are processed even faster because they need to know quickly what's going on, also because it's research. Now, again, it's fine to take as much time as one needs to process results and to understand and to tell everyone whatever the news is. Hopefully it's good, but one should not portray the hospital as being, totally lengthy in disseminating results. One should say, yes, the NHS gives me results quickly, but I just wait to the MDT meetings, which take place 1 or 2 weeks later. I don't want to know. She should reiterate that, because a lot of people are getting the wrong idea about the NHS. So I want to correct this image. The NHS, according to this, report, is excellent, according to this report. Okay, so I'll show you the title again of the report if you want to look it up. Thank you very much. This was very impromptu. Bonne nuit, and I hope that Tiffany's results are good. Good. Thank you.